Happy Gaudete Sunday. Happy Pink Candle Sunday. We're almost to Christmas. All right, that's this day that calls for joy. That's what Gaudete means. That's joy and excitement that we're almost there. Christmas is getting closer. This week's gospel, just like last week's gospel, we meet this person of John the Baptist. Last week's gospel, you might remember, started out with this passage from the prophet Isaiah, talking about a voice crying out in the wilderness. And this week's gospel, John actually points directly to that verse and says, that guy that Isaiah was talking about, that's me. I'm the voice. I'm the one out in the wilderness calling out, preparing the way for the Lord because he's coming right after me. Right? And that's John's whole thing. That's his whole mission, is to prepare the way for the Messiah and to point to Jesus. Right? Notice what he says to the crowds here at one point. He says, I baptize you with water, but there's one among you whom you don't recognize. Right? And I'm not worthy to untie his sandal. So John's trying to point out there's something in this crowd of people following him. They're anxious to see who the Messiah figure is going to be. They're anxious to follow John's message. And John's like, there's somebody in you, among you, that you don't recognize. Right? And there's God's message for us this week, I think. There's something in each of us, in our families, in our households, in our family members, that we don't always recognize in ourselves. And we need our family members to be the John the Baptist in the household to point out, this is the Lord working in your life. This thing that you're good at is there for a reason. God gave you this gift, and he wants to see you use it. And so that's the Lord working in your life. This good thing that happened to you today, that's not just some random chance good thing. That's not, think of whatever reason you might be able to explain away some good thing. That's actually God blessing you in your life. This bad thing that happened today, it's not some random chance occurrence. It's something that God is allowing you to go through so that you can grow and so that he can teach you some sort of lesson. We all need somebody in our families telling us that, showing this is where Jesus is in your life where you don't recognize him. Just like this crowd on the banks of the Jordan River didn't recognize Jesus was walking in their midst. They had no idea he was the Messiah. They needed John to point to him and say, behold, the Lamb of God. That's him. Let's be that person in our families as well and show each other where we see God working in our lives.